2025. So I will ask for your perspective as well. If you had to give Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin and company a letter grade for the 2025 draft class right now, and obviously that could change as these guys develop as Steelers, but how would you grade the Steelers draft as we sit here on May 1st?
Yeah, I gave them a B when I wrote that article the day after the draft. I really love their first two picks. I'm a big fan of Eric Harmon and Caleb Johnson. I think their day three is a mixed bag. I'm not a huge fan of the Jack Sawyer pick. Y.A. Black, I think, is fine. He's a rotational nose. Love the Will Howard pick. I think that's great. And then the two seventh-rounders, we're fine. But I thought it was a solid B. I think what they did this offseason was clearly to show that they wanted to stop the run. And certainly they did that in the draft. I mean, adding guys like Sawyer, Black, and Harmon showcases that. I think they had an identity to do it. I think they got really good value in their first two picks. So I really liked the haul they got. And I think they got some of their better fits overall in terms of the personnel they actually acquired. So I still was a solid draft for Omar Khan and Andy Weidel. I don't think Mike Tomlin in there. I think it was as value heavy as it was in 23 and 24. There were some value picks I thought that were really standing out, like Will Howard. I thought Caleb Johnson also was great value. But I thought it really fit what they needed and what the response was to what happened in Baltimore. So I liked this draft for the Steelers. I didn't love it. I would have liked to have seen them attack slot corner a little earlier. Wouldn't have minded them dipping into the wide receiver pool a little earlier. But overall, this was a solid draft in my opinion.
Yeah, you mentioned about the Jack Sawyer pick and you talking about those positions that they didn't address so much. Is that why you weren't a huge fan of the Sawyer pick? Did you think that they would have been better suited in that spot to go somewhere else in the fourth round?
Yeah, I would have. I know a lot of people talk about how he was great value, and a lot of the big experts, had him in the second or third round. I just turn on the Sawyer tape and I see, a mid-day 3 player. This was any great value pick. The Steelers' reasoning was to have a run-specific edge rusher. I just don't know how much I value that skill set in the modern NFL. I understand the Steelers got absolutely crunched on that, but I thought a lot of it was more schematic than personnel-driven, to be quite honest with you, of why the Ravens were able to beat them up front like they did. I'm not sure, how much of an impact a guy like that has. He's going to probably have, 8 to 12 snaps per game. I mean, Nick Herbig is a great pass rusher and certainly is a better pass rusher than Sawyer. I just think Sawyer's upside of the pass rusher is limited. I don't think he's an elite athlete. He's got a very hot motor. He's very strong. He's going to give you that run-specific thing. I'm just not sure that's where I would have attacked it when I had a need at slot corner. Receiver is a significant need past this year, not this year necessarily, but past this year, you have a significant need there. You could have even taken an offensive lineman, if you wanted a guard or a tackle to prepare for next year where Sayamall is a free agent and obviously Broderick Jones is heading into a big year. That would have been cool too. I think that they missed an opportunity to draft for the future there because this isn't even a draft for the future, right? I mean, T.J. Watt's not going anywhere. Alex Highsmith's probably not going anywhere. So the Sawyer pick isn't even like drafting for the future, just adding a strength to a strength. I just think that they could have done better. If Sawyer had been that second-round talent that fell to the fourth and they took him, I would be a little more forgiving for that. But in terms of what I saw on tape, I didn't see that. I saw more of, a late 4, early 5 type player, right around where he went. And I just don't value that specific skill set as much as the Steelers did in that selection, in that core. So, yeah, that's kind of my big gripe with that pick overall, Jack.